do you guys give me if I kill that bird?
Barbara, that's a bald eagle.
Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Oh, well, good evening. Good evening and good evening. This is the Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We are live here on GovsRadio.com tonight. Tonight is a great show. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and joining us on GovsRadio.com. We're also live on Facebook. Go to the Govs Radio Comedy channel, something like that. Go over to YouTube, type in Govs Comedy Club Radio, and you'll find us live. You'll also find a lot of our shows backed up on all of our social media. Our links are in our Instagram, and you can find us in podcast form in the next coming days on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Tonight, we are joined by some really awesome guys. Good thing we had a girl in the studio this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago, to offset the dudeness. But before we begin, really quick, we have some sponsors. Steve, let's take it away right with you, because I need a drink after doing the intro.
I hear you, brother. All right. So, Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more. They are very passionate about the craft beer scene here on Long Island, making sure that the same quality that left the brewery is going to be in the draft systems. And the only way to do that is to keep those lines perfectly clean. Rosie services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator system installs and maintenance. Some of the breweries that they take care of on the island: WA Meadworks, Blue Point Brewing Company, Darling Brewing, who we just had on recently, 1940s Hopwinds, Marich's Field, and our buddies down over at Hopscotch. They keep those lines beautifully clean.
Tight.
You can reach Rosie's at rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com, or you can give them a call, 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mention the Wort and get some special discounts.
There you go, Steve. You've tightened up that promo. God damn
So
you.
professional.
I had to, bro.
Tight. I love it as
Gotta
you're
make
going
it
through
nice
it.
and Nicky.
And, of course, let Nick know that the Wort sent you. We are also tonight sponsored by Brewbag. Brewbag for your beer pong cornhole game right there in your backyard when the weather is not 25 degrees below. You know what? Screw it. Just play with it in your basement. Who gives a shit? If you have a 8-foot ceiling, that's all you really need to stand. And then you throw your Brewbag. And it's beer pong cornhole, played outdoors, but played inside here in the winter months. Go to brewbag.com and order yours today. Follow our link on our Instagram over our link tree. And, of course, receive a percentage off your order. Or you could type into the promo code WORT, W-O-R-T, or we pronounce it Wort. Peter, let's take it away with VintageBeerShirtClub.com.
No one likes new beer shirts. Vintage ones are where it's at, obviously.
No one.
Who wants the new ones?
Who wants a fucking new?
No.
Dumco?
They're not worn. They're not like
mean-
used from a thrift shop. They just have old vintage logos on them, Peter.
Yes.
I'm aware.
Brand new shirt.
I know.
Your never been worn before beer shirts of
there you go.
breweries no longer in existence.
There you go. That's a proper promo.
Please go to VintageBeerShirtClub.com. Enter promo code WORT.
W-O-R-T.
For a discount off your first order there.
Mm-hmm.
No one looks cooler than a guy in a vintage beer shirt.
There you go, a little Buffalo beer.
Great Valentine's Day gift if
looking
you
for
don't
that
know what
special
the fuck
someone.
To get your husband or boyfriend. Vintage beer
Or your side piece. Whatever.
Or your side piece.
Ooh,
Very
gotta have
important.
that side.
Don't forget your side piece on
Don't forget them. They need love
Don't
too.
get your side piece on Valentine's Day.
because
They'll
if
rat
you
your
do,
ass out.
then the side piece contacts the main piece, and
And then
It's a
there's
whole
no
thing.
peace.
it's a whole thing.
There's no peace. Tonight we're also sponsored by Brewers Hardware. Sorry to follow that up with brewershardware.com. Brewers Hardware for all your brewery needs for your small or large capacity brewery, specializing in tank, I guess, what do they call them? Adapters and pieces. So go over to Brewers Hardware.
Tri-clamps.
Lots of tri-clamps over at Brewers Hardware.
All the tri-clamps.
So get those today, brewershardware.com, and in the promo code type in WORT, W-O-R-T, for your discounted, purchase or order. A couple of honorable mentions. Big shout out to taphandles.com, of course, hopscotch.com, And then our buddy over at Hartwell Woodshop in Patchogue, give him a holla holla. Tell him the Wort send you. I'm burping a lot. I don't know why. I ate too fast for dinner tonight. Folks, tonight we have a great show. I'm going to promise you that now that we're through the promos. First off, I want to introduce everyone to Ryan and Howard from 90-Second Beer Review here on the show tonight. What's up, boys?
Thanks,
Cheers.
Thanks for having us.
Also, I want to say hello to Keegan, hailing from upstate New York, Saratoga Springs for Whitman Brewing. Voted one of the top 10 new breweries in New York. So say holla holla, Keegan.
All
right.
Good to be here.
Nice. Thanks, guys, for joining us and spending your Monday night with us. Since there's no Monday Night Football, our ratings have fucking soared. It's amazing. And there's no Islanders game. There's no Knicks game on tonight. It's perfect. Guys, I want to get right to you, Ryan and Howard, because we just finished shooting the Pints of Love special edition version of the Wort last Sunday, and not this past Sunday, not yesterday, but 2 Sundays ago. And we had a great time. We're excited to show it off. Lots of fun with Joe from WA Meadworks. But I'm interested in finding out how this Pints of Love festival began. I know I talked to, I think, Ryan for a while about the whole process and what was going on. I want to bring that to the audience because our goal is to get people involved and educated and, of course, entertained throughout the Valentine's Day weekend. Who wants to kick it off? Who wants to start it up?
I'll take the start.
Boom.
So I'll start off by saying I don't think anybody goes out saying I'm gonna kick it off with a Valentine's Day virtual beer festival. So I think obviously that's something that came about through the pandemic. We were approached by our platform Lemonade Social for the event, and it was something that kind of got in our heads, and we said, okay, well, if we're going to do this, we want to make sure we're doing it right. We want to make sure that we line up a bunch of good breweries, a bunch of good content. So we started planning and saying, okay, well, what would be a good time that's far enough out? And we kind of looked at the calendar and just said, okay, Valentine's Day is, it's a nice event theme. It's going to be a time where, obviously, with the way things are going right now, people are going to be locked up. They're not going to be able to do their normal routine on Valentine's Day. How can we give somebody something that's going to be an experience that they can have from home? And at the same time, it's typically a pretty quiet period for breweries. So you're going in and, it's something that breweries normally coming right off of dry January, which kind of hits them a little bit. You're into February. People are still running with their New Year's resolutions. And particularly this year with COVID, it's going to be pretty rough for breweries because you don't have especially in like New York City, for example, right? You're not going to have that tap room experience the way you normally would. Everybody had shifted to outdoor, but it's going to be the middle of February, so that's going to be cold. So this was an idea for us to try to get a little bit more notoriety to the breweries, make sure that we were getting people out, get them some extra beer sales, get some more attention on the breweries, and just generally get people to know the people behind the beers that they love so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and again, at its core, I mean, for us, it was really just about trying to provide value. So, like, for us, the two things that we wanted to do, one is good content. The other is we wanted to have an option where people could actually get some beer into their house, really enjoy Valentine's Day. And so, being what it is in the United States with being able to retail alcohol, we knew we had to bring in some partners for that. That's where Mark over at Hopscotch came in up in New York. And we also brought in the Glass Jug Beer Lab down here in Durham, which is both a bottle shop and a brewery. And Chris from Glass Jug, Mark from Hopscotch have been fantastic partners throughout this whole thing. This event would not be going on without them. And we just started reaching out. And honestly, there was a lot of interest from these breweries to be a part of this event, to get back out in front of craft beer fans because they aren't really able to entertain them in the tap rooms. And so we've got 24 breweries signed on for the festival, 12 in New York, 12 in North Carolina. It's a pretty wide range, but, a lot of names that, craft beer fans probably know, Other Half, Burial, Equilibrium, KCBC, New Anthem Beer Project. So there's a lot of great names, a lot of really high quality beer. And we tried to make this as easily and as accessible as possible. So if you go to our website, 90secondbeerreview.com, there's a Pints of Love Festival part of the website. The tickets for the event are just $15, and that gets you all the content for the 2 days of the festival, both when it airs live and for 3 months on demand afterwards. And there's going to be multiple sessions, in some cases 3 sessions going on at the same time because we had so much content recorded for this. So even if you're busy that weekend, you'll be able to go back, watch all the content on your own time. And then if you want to, kick up the experience beyond that, after you buy your ticket and you're in the event, you can go and buy a VIP pack. So we have a New York VIP pack for $100 and a North Carolina one for $90. And you get a 12-pack of beer, one beer from each of the 12 breweries participating in your state.
Jesus.
You get an assorted box of chocolates because it's Valentine's Day and everybody should enjoy some chocolates.
Share a little bit of love.
Yep. For those of you that are watching on video, you also get a custom Belgian tulip glass with the Pints of Love logo on there. And then on the other side, you got the 90-second beer review. It's just going to be a really kind of fun way to get some good beer at home. It's going to be a variety of styles, a lot of limited releases, seasonals, things like that. We're just really looking forward to it. I mean, we've been putting together a lot of the content over the last couple of weeks, and getting to sit down with the head brewers, founders, co-owners of a lot of these breweries, and either just get to know them or talk about specific beer topics has been, I think for Ryan and I, a real blast. And I think that craft beer fans will really enjoy it because it's a pretty interesting but very approachable set of sessions where you don't need to know all of the intense beer jargon to get into it. But you'll learn a lot and you'll have some fun while you're at it.
This seems like a huge undertaking for what you guys are putting together between the communication between the breweries, between the, drop-off points and pickup points, between all the content that needs to be, run through and filtered down and put into Lemonade Social or Social Lemonade?
Lemonade Social.
Lemonade Social. It sounds better that way anyway.
Just Social Lemonade sounds a little COVID-y.
it's a little germy. It's fine though. No one backwashes. We're good. But yeah, they have a tremendous amount of stuff to undertake. So give us a little insight into how the platform is going to work. So, I mean, you obviously go into this website. Once you have your ticket, you'll have your entry. Now you have channels to choose from as it's going on throughout the weekend. And what's the time frame for the weekends? Like Saturday and Sunday is starting at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. What's that all looking like?
Howard, it's you caught me off guard there. What is it, 1 to 9?
Yeah. So we're running Saturday. It's gonna be 1 to 9. Sunday it's gonna be 1 to 8. Like I said, I mean, so basically we're having everything run on the hours, starting at 1 o'clock. And every time slot, with the exception of the final one of the festival, is going to have at least 2 sessions going at once.
Okay.
And there are going to be a couple that they're going to have 3 different things running at once.
There you go.
Yep.
So
and
it makes
the cool
it
thing is that
good, big advantage to have that on-demand access for
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And you can watch it live, right? You can watch it like as it goes, or you have on demand, right? So if there's certain sessions that line up exactly when you want to watch another one, you have the on-demand option. You can just keep it running and watch it for as long as you want. And if you really like it, you can watch it for up to 3 months later.
There you go. And I'm going to continue calling it Social Lemonade because it sounds delicious. So, I mean, once you get in there, obviously the on-demand content, everything runs through their site. Do they have some sort of, Roku or iOS TV or something like that running as well, an app that people can use through their television to watch it throughout the day?
So they do have an app. You can access the app on your phone or tablet or something like that. And then I guess you could probably do screen sharing.
Yeah, I was going to say you could just share it up to the TV. Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, and I would assume because of all of the content, it's all being recorded beforehand and all that has to be brought in. So that's a tremendous undertaking for them. For you guys, have you been viewing some of the content? What can you say about it so far?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we've been, it's been a lot of content. So I think that was the thing that kind of, as we're going through and we're doing everything, you kind of start off going, it's a virtual festival. How hard could it be? And all of a sudden you get into it, you're like, okay, it's literally as hard as a real festival.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that one day we kind of looked at each other and we're like, what did we get ourselves into? This is probably more than we really wanted to bite off. But it's been really awesome. I think the brewers, the content that we've been getting has been really fun. It's been, I just recorded one today actually with Dan from Artisanal Brew Works.
Nice.
And
love Dan.
we were sitting there. Gotta love Dan because every other session was like 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Dan and I just went 50 minutes. And we're sitting there going like, we literally just like tripled like other sessions. How'd that happen? So
Ryan texted me and I thought he must have done something wrong because we have all like the larger format panels, things like discussions on barrel aged beer, brewing with adjunct ingredients, things like that. But then we also decided to do a series of what we're calling Get to Know a Brewer Q&A. And so it's a set list of questions. And we've sat down with brewers from probably 12 or 13 breweries at this point that are participating in the festival. And it was supposed to be 10 to 20 minutes, kind of some short answers, some funny stories, run through the questions. And I don't know that any of them have gone north of 20 minutes. And then Ryan drops a 50-minute recording on us today. So
we're having fun, man. We're just having fun. So we just kept it going. I don't even think I got through all my questions. We had like a dozen questions. I think I got through like 6. Dan was answering questions that I didn't even ask yet, and I'm sitting there going like, "How's he doing this?" Like,
does he have the questions ahead of time?
Yeah.
He's looking.
I will say we also have we have the North Carolina Food and Beverage podcast, which is a great podcast down here that focuses on all things food in the food and beverage industry in North Carolina. Did kind of a big panel discussion with 5 breweries. And so they had Torch and Crown and Artisanal from up in New York. They had 3 breweries from North Carolina. And even with 8 or 9 people on there, Dan got in a ton of really good commentary.
I will say there's one line in there that just totally took me off guard today. And I was sitting there and he was telling this story, and I won't ruin it for anybody that wants to watch it during the festival. But I was literally sitting there going, "Yeah, well, I told you no handcuffs, huh? So you went for it." That was a full send. So.
All right.
Like,
yeah, Dan's an off the rails kind of guy. We loved having him on, and we could probably, if we had him in studio, I mean, Steve and Pete would say we'd be there for 4 hours. Easily. Easily. He has way too much to talk about, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you guys, like I said, have a lot of stuff to go through and a lot of stuff to do. I would imagine, like you said, it was a lot of pre-planning, but the weekend of, I'm assuming you guys are going to be just sitting back and watching and checking out the content and see how it all interacts and how people's experience went and getting feedback. What is the experience so far? What do you plan on doing for the future? Is this something you'd probably take to the next level and do an in-person festival for?
Ooh, that's a to be determined. I think we'll have to see how it goes this year and figure it out from there. I think it's one of those things that see how it works out. As far as what you said, hopefully we are sitting back and relaxing. I don't want to be dealing with any issues day up.
The website crashed.
Yeah,
I'm knocking on wood. This is what I promised.
Yeah, don't say that shit. Don't say that.
Hey, and if anything on that front happens, Lemonade Social's got a 24/7 support team, so they'll take care of that piece for us.
Nice.
But we do actually have a couple sessions that are going to be recording live the weekend of. We kept that to a minimum because we really wanted to avoid a lot of the tech and the sound issues, and we wanted to make sure that people get the content that they want to see and that they paid for. And so we are going to have the guys from Taproom Sports doing a live NFL draft preview show.
Oh, that's cool.
During the event, they're bringing on a draft expert from Draft Utopia to do that. We're having the North Carolina beer and chocolate pairing session is going to happen live.
I saw that. That's cool.
So there's going to be a couple of different live ones. But yeah, to Ryan's point, I hope that for most of that weekend, we're just sitting back and enjoying a couple of beers from the VIP pack. And I actually brought something special today. So we have not announced any of the beers that are going to be in any of the VIP packs yet. And we're going to give you one today. So this is on cassette. It's a hazy double IPA from New Anthem Beer Project in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Boom.
So for those of you that don't know New Anthem Beer Project, they're a little bit newer to the scene, but very highly regarded for their hazy IPA. They've had a couple of beers make craft beer and brewing kind of top 20 of the year. It's a really awesome kind of, Mosaic, Citra, Amarillo, El Dorado hopped hazy double IPA. And so that is officially the first beer for one of the VIP packs that we've actually announced publicly.
Nice.
I like the can art.
Yeah.
Just the red
boom.
wrap.
They have very definitive kind of like differentiated branding. So a lot of their cans are single color with just their logo and a quick description of the beer in which hops were used. Because a big chunk of what they produce is hazy IPA right now.
Yeah.
Now, for the festival itself, it's $15 just for the festival, and VIP pack, $90 for North Carolina and $100 for New York. Do you have to get the festival? You have to buy that and then the VIP?
You
Absolutely.
do, yeah. So you need to essentially picture it like a real festival. You need to get in the door first before you can buy something.
Cool.
So that's the way it works. And those two have to be differentiated because of laws,
Right.
So Lemonade Social doesn't have a license to sell beer. So
Beer distribution.
Social
no?
Lemonade or Social Lemonade, if you want to call it that, right? So that's where you kind of go in, you buy your ticket, and then as a separate purchase, you would have the beer packs that flow through glass jug or hopscotch.
There you go.
And I would also say more practically, so when you think about the ticket cost and the ticket revenue itself, 90-second beer review, it's just Ryan and I. This is a first-time festival, but we wanted to find a way to give something back to the content providers and the musicians and that are being part of this festival. So we're literally giving each of them a percentage of the ticket revenues. So the bigger the event gets, the more tickets that get purchased, the more money that they make on their sessions that they're providing for the festival. So that was kind of our way of trying to do something to give something back to them. So, it's for everybody out there that wants to get involved. Even if you don't want to go down the road of the VIP pack, definitely pick up a ticket and come enjoy some of the content.
You could even chalk it up to being a donation to, people, performers, live event people that are struggling in this time that don't have an avenue or an outlet to display their creativity, and this is a great way to do that. Plus, you're going to get something in return. You're going to get a little entertainment. I saw a bunch of music announcements. Tell us a little bit about what the music end of this is.
Yeah, Howard, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so we've got a kind of variety in there. So we've got a couple of DJ sets. We just announced yesterday, Chris Conde is a San Antonio, Texas-based rapper. So he's going to be performing, and he's got a really cool story. He's really involved in the LGBTQ community down in Texas, and a lot of his songs talk about his experiences. And then we've got a North Carolina-based string band called Into the Fog that does a lot of performances in and around this area. They always pull a really great crowd. It's kind of a cross-genre string band. And so those are going to be some of the main music acts. We actually, from what our initial plans were, actually pulled back some of the music because we had so much beer content that we wanted to make sure that that we didn't overwhelm people with like 4 sessions going on at the same time. Yeah. So we're basically going to have, the early parts of the day, you're going to have mostly beer content. We do have the girls from Bar and Beer Inc. doing a beer and bar class one day, and then a beer and yoga class another day. So kind of earlier in the day, each day, you can kind of get off out of your chair and get moving a little bit. And
stretch it out, Pete. You gotta stretch your shit out.
Not for Steve.
Pete's got to get that downward facing dog going to get that neck all loosened up.
Absolutely. And then later in the day, you'll get your beer and chocolate pairings, and then you'll get a little bit more beer content plus some music to kind of wrap up your day each day.
That's awesome.
What are the chocolates that come in the VIP pack? Is it Hershey Kisses?
Of course, you fat
Hershey's with almonds.
So we actually have some pretty cool chocolates. So they're hand selected boxes. So up here in New York, it's from Sayville Chocolatier. So huge thanks to them. They've been really awesome. And
I know where they are. I've had some of their stuff before. Delicious.
Yeah, well, there's an endorsement if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's chocolate for Christ's sake. You can't go wrong with a little dark, little strawberry, little anything in there, a little jelly ring.
Exactly. I mean, if you're going to run with some handcrafted beers, you might as well go with some handcrafted chocolates, right? So
I would imagine that pairing is going to be a lot of porters and stouts. And
actually, no, you'd be surprised.
Crispy boys and chocolates.
Actually, we have IPAs in there. We have some couple IPAs, and we have a stout. So yeah, it's taking you off guard. We're not going right down right down the middle there.
And in North Carolina, I think we're actually going to take it a little bit further. I think we're going to do some fruited sours with some chocolate.
That makes some sense.
Do a little bit of citrus with kind of the richer chocolates. And and so North Carolina, we're doing the same thing. So Ryan and I both really wanted to try to keep as much of the stuff going into the packs local as possible. So down here, we're using Azure Lease chocolate, which is based over in Raleigh. And Reginald over there has been a chocolatier for a long time. He has his own small business. He's a one-man show. And he's putting together a custom, 9-piece box of chocolates for the VIP packs with the pairings in mind.
Damn.
So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Pete, you in?
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Are we talking truffles or what kind of chocolate?
Are we talking truffles?
Wide variety. We got truffles. We got jellies. We got everything. So.
Now I'm starving. I need a meal. I got other questions, not beer related, to you, Howard, because I'm a big Duke fan, and we're going to talk North Carolina and some sports in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because I know you said Wilmington. I'm like, duh, Wilmington.
Well, I'm in Durham, so I'm about 10 minutes from Duke's campus.
Dude, just throw a stone at Coach K and tell him to stop being freaking 500 this year. What the hell's wrong with him? COVID really screwed up my life.
See, the problem is, though, so when I moved down here about 4 years ago, but I've had family in Chapel Hill my whole life. So I'm actually a Tar Heels fan, much to the dismay of one of my coworkers down here that is a born and raised Duke fan. I think her family was literally like boosters for the Duke program, and she had like Christian Leitner hanging out in her living room.
You walk in, you're like, shit, I can't be here. Damn it, I gotta go.
Now, wrong shade of blue today. Like this is just awful.
I don't mean to crush your sports talk.
No, we'll get to that later,
Mikey. Yeah. More importantly, because I know a lot of people have asked me this question. So the pickup for the beer, if they get the VIP pack, it's through Hopscotch on Long Island.
So it's through Hopscotch, it's through North Fork Brewing, it's through Interborough, it's through Torch and Crown, or Equilibrium.
Oh, so you got
So
spread out all over the place. So
We got
upstate,
spread out. We
downstate.
tried to make
good.
it easy for everybody
Yeah.
to get their beer. And so you figure like East End, Suffolk, you have Queens / Brooklyn, you have Manhattan, and then you kind of have, I don't want to call it upstate. That's a very Long Island thing.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
like-
It's not really. It's
Hudson
really
Valley
downstate
area.
compared to where
Non-five-
Keegan is.
non-five boroughs,
Yeah.
non-five boroughs, but
North of the city. So,
Keegan's
yeah.
like, that's downstate. That's like New York City. You kidding me? That Equilibrium shit. Get out
Those
of
are,
here.
those are like fighting words. If you say like call it upstate to somebody that's actually upstate, they're like, "What are you talking
True
about?"
story.
Yeah.
and Steve, to your question, so what we're basically doing is the sales of the VIP packs close on February 1st. We're going to take a couple of days to work with Mark at Hopscotch and Chris at Glass Jug to get everything packed, get it out to the right pickup locations. In North Carolina, we have 3 in 3 different metro areas down here. And then you'll have about a week before the festival to go to your chosen pickup location. And they'll have your VIP pack waiting there. They'll check you off the list, and they'll send you on your way with your box.
So how's that distro working? I mean, Ryan, you're getting in a car, driving to these breweries, bringing them to those spots, or you got
So luckily, Mark is handling virtually all of that.
fucking
So,
Mark.
This is an
Yeah.
Of
animal.
course he
Mark,
is.
right?
He's like, he'll give me an excuse to get to Equilibrium and pick up 17 cases
Yeah,
to sell them out of the bottle shop.
exactly.
But it's true. He'll use it. Yeah, no, I can't blame him either. Does he really want to be in his home? No offense, Mark. You really want to be in your home with the screaming newborn? No.
You don't.
No. You want to be on the
no.
road with Ryan, like
Yes.
living a boys' weekend, hanging out at breweries. This
I can
guy.
attest.
And by the way, the next time Mark asks for what brewery should we go to next, it's going to be Whitman because I am thoroughly enjoying Flow State.
Yes.
And you guys have cracked open the Belgian. Keegan, let's get to you for a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about this. This is a awesome brew. I want to get to how this was all put together. Let's first hear the story. We were talking a little bit before the show about, kind of everything that's going on. You got a lot of plates spinning in the air. Give us a little history of how you came to be the director of the brewery and or the Squeegee Grunt. Thank you, Squeegee Grunt. There you go. From Squeegee Grunt to director of operations at the brewery.
It's we're barely out of year one. It's everyone wears like 20 different hats, so whatever it works. So I was actually brewing as a head brewer in Connecticut in the Hartford area, which is originally where I'm from.
Which brewery?
Back East Brewery.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Yep.
So I was there. We have one family who owns Whitman. Krager family. They're awesome. They're actually also from the island. Don't ask me what town.
It's something that starts with a wampum or it's an Indian name of some sort.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everything here is an Indian name. Massapequa, Kennequot, all that good stuff.
Vowels, consonants,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
Yep.
They had kind of reached out, kind of described this project up here in Saratoga that they wanted to get going. They've been living up in the area for a number of years, had originally kind of started coming up because of the horse racing, just fell in love with the town, the area, the people, and ultimately just moved on up. And it was a really cool opportunity, and just I've always kind of wanted to be able to kind of get in on a ground floor rather than kind of picking up where someone left off. So
Tell everyone a little bit about the town. Saratoga is an interesting place. I used to work for NYRA. I would do camera work for Belmont and Aqueduct, and every summer I'd get invited to go up to Saratoga. And one year I took advantage of that and did about a week up there for the first part of the season. Interesting place and very it's beautiful. It's upstate. It's I want to say secluded because there's not any major metropolitan around, but in and of itself, it's a great town. Tell us a little about what Saratoga Springs was bringing to that area and what the town is like for the craft beer community.
It's honestly a great hub. Everything kind of comes east or west depending where you're going out of Buffalo. As you go north, you got a couple kind of great places that are kind of hidden out in like the Adirondacks, the Lake George area. And there's a continually growing scene that is, popping up in that kind of Albany, Troy, that capital region area.
Yeah.
And at the center of it all is Saratoga, which, as you mentioned, the guys at Artisanal, been here before us, and, they've been a great resource for us and just great guys. So for us, it was kind of pretty easy to get going when all of that's in place. And as we all know, the craft beer community is amazing pretty much anywhere you go in the country. So Saratoga itself is really cool. It's my favorite fact that I had first learned was per capita, it has the second most amount of bar licenses in the country behind New Orleans.
That's good trivia.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, boys,
when you come
we're
to
going to
town,
Saratoga.
Yeah.
yeah, when you come
Mike,
to town,
your town and my hometown were on that list.
They were.
For quite a long
Lindenhurst, New
time.
York, at one point had the most bars per capita in the village. And that is not true to the day, because a lot of businesses, not because of COVID in general, but overall businesses have closed and moved away. But a lot of new restaurants are kind of popping up, and that's good to see. Like some of the smaller bars closed, but the bigger restaurants with the gastropub is opening up this summer, and there's another in-town place called Restoration that serves only craft beer. So, same thing. A lot of the towns kind of are making that conversion to more of that, I don't want to say upper class, but that kind of different kind of approach to how they serve their alcohol and what they have on tap. Have a lot of the restaurants by you taken to craft beer and done those things within the town?
I would say the overall majority certainly have. I mean, there's no denying that kind of that horse race season with the mass influx is definitely.
It's crazy how many people flood to that town.
Yeah, I think they clear in it's like 8 weeks. It's about 1 million, give or take. Actually insane. But again, we kind of get a lot of if you're kind of looking for a nice night out, again, the people out of the Albany area come up. It's only about a 20-30 minute drive. And then as you kind of start getting into the Adirondacks and a little bit more of the country, Saratoga kind of acts as like that bigger hub where if you want whether a nice meal or come out for a night and kind of bar hop. And with, again, like I was saying, like the amount of bar licenses, the restaurants, everything, it just, it caters to everyone. It has something for everyone. It's really the only way, everyone stays in business.
Now you guys are relatively new.
Yeah, so we just are coming up on closing out our 13th month open. So we opened right around New Year's of 19. So, we managed to get a good couple weeks in before COVID hit.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Certainly a, interesting first year is the word I'm going to go with.
Well, you had all these plans, obviously, to distribute, to have contracts, to put stuff in kegs. How is that pivot to, I guess, can distribution and stuff like that?
Well, so our game plan was always that Saratoga kind of was always just, even as a town, a getaway, a destination. And that was something that they wanted to kind of carry over into the business. So, we were always, our taproom focused first. And then if there's, more to go around, then, we'll kind of hook our friends up. Obviously with COVID and indoor dining shutting down, reduced capacity, everything else. We've expanded slightly where we'll send a couple specific brands as far down as, Albany, the capital region. But, the important thing, I think, for really, any brewery, anything is you got to own your own backyard. So it's not something where we wanted to just rush, push things out, send it far and wide and just be like, well, the check cleared. That's not what we're about. And especially when it's year one and we're really trying to establish ourselves. I'm fortunate enough to have 9 fermenters,
Nice.
all 10 barrels. So it's been a really, really big advantage for us is being able to do loggers and actually logger it for we got a distributor truck coming, or that's the more weeks it's tied up, that's less turns, we're making less money. You know, and that was honestly a big part of why I kind of signed on to this project, where if we're not happy with it, it's either going to get some more time in the tank, clean itself up, do what it needs to do, or, you know, it goes down the drain and, you know, we try to learn from it and move on. And...
Now, are these your recipes, or is there something else?
So all of the recipes are mine. We still managed, even on a 10-barrel system, which for not really having people in is a pretty decent size, we managed to brew 44 different batches, and most of which were one-offs this year.
Nice.
So kept me
Which
busy.
recipes do you think stuck? Which so if you did, you know, so many of those were one-offs, what do you think gets a second brew? What recipes really worked?
How about flow state?
Yeah, so that was actually our first time doing flow state. It's always nerve-wracking. We don't have a pilot system, so it is
Yep.
You know,
It's a commitment.
Hope you get it right, and then I stress about it for 2 weeks till I can actually start tasting it, get a good night's sleep or two, and then it's on to the next one. The styles we've really seen people respond to are those lagers. Obviously, you know, the New England style IPAs, you know, are huge, and they're not going anywhere.
What's that? Tell me more. What are those?
Well, you know. So, and then, you know, we do some light farmhouse things. And then the rest is, you know, we kind of bounce around on the experimental side. Part of it is me. Brewer ADD, if you want to call it. I often describe my brewing style as just dog chasing cars. I get bored very, very easily. You know, you could park me up on an AB InBev brew deck and be like, okay, brew Bud Light. You could, you know, take me to, Treehouse, park me up on the deck and be like, all right, go crank out New England's. I'm going to get equally bored in the same amount of time. We always want to have that, that kind of spread everything out on a draft board as well, where a little something for everyone. And we want to also kind of help educate the consumer that, you know, get you a little out of your comfort zone. Well, if you like this, you know, this is the next logical progression. Let's have you try this. If you like, you know, and just kind of keep expanding people's palates. And then hopefully as we grow, build, and, you know, continue to earn people's trust, you know, we'll kind of continue taking some shots downfield. One of my favorite beers that we were able to do this year was we were actually able to, you know, oak age, a classic old school German lager.
Nice.
It.
Was it Beechwood aged?
Oak. Just American oak.
There you go. Fuck that Beechwood. Get that at the ocean.
Yeah, you can get Beechwood malt. I mean, that doesn't really come with age.
That's a good point.
But yeah, and then one of the things for 2021 that, you know, we're really getting into that I'm most excited about is some of our beer wine hybrids as well. You know, the Finger Lakes, you know, kind of upstate. We got a lot of, you know, great choices, and, you know, we just really want to connect. We work a lot as well with our kitchen. We have a full kitchen as well.
Yeah, you do.
And that allows us to kind of tie in some really cool, flavors that the kitchen's using into our beer, you know, kind of pre-plan with things with the menu that, you know, that kind of come out in sync.
Yeah.
Now describe to, you know, our audience, what is Walton Whitman, the brewery itself? Because you have a whole lot of other things going on besides doing some really great beer. You got a coffee house, you got a cafe, you guys got, I mean, I
got a laundromat next door.
You
got all of a sudden you're making Chinese food in the adjacent strip mall. I mean, what do you got? You got dumplings brewed with the Whitman IPA.
I mean, it's
don't threaten me with dumplings.
Great
Both
idea.
Our executive chef go crazy for soup dumplings. So maybe we'll test the waters on a
IPA soup dumplings.
Oh, like it.
Hey, I got to come to the
That's
brewery.
the dumbest thing I'll say today.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll try for that to be the dumbest thing I say today.
Well, if you pair with pork and like a little scallion with a little spice to it, that actually might work out pretty well for a
Yeah,
pairing.
spice it like a winter warmer. I mean, you got oyster snouts. You can throw pork in the boil.
Yeah, just the whole
Now we're
rump
talking.
roast.
Throw a hog in there.
Just a live pig.
Yeah,
Just drown the pig in
I might
the boil.
take my vacation days right before that beer drops, but
Yeah.
Now you're sounding like Yeppy over at Evil Twin. You're like start throwing like avocado and fried chicken in there.
Some vegan sprouts. Let's get the sprouts in there. We're good.
I will say it was, very nice with having that kitchen and having their food vendors. Especially we're talking winter, kind of pastry stout season. I never realized how much cheaper kitchens and like food vendors can get like vanilla pods than meat brewers can through traditional methods. Fantastic, it's like, and it's not even something where I'm like, oh, well, this can save money. It's I can use double. Like, so,
Restaurant Depot's a hell of a drug.
yeah, it's dangerous, and I am hooked. But yeah, so it's full kitchen. We have amazing executive chef Brandon Shako. Actually, a quick shout out to him. He a few years ago won Best Young Chef in Detroit.
Ooh.
Brought over his Detroit style pizza.
It's like Sicilian, right? It's a square Sicilian.
Yeah. It's mostly like Sicilian. And it's I kind of refer to it as like a cross between a Sicilian and deep dish.
Oh, okay. It has like that grandma look to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Showing you what I know, I hadn't had it prior to him making it, and it was one of those things where I was like, what's the Detroit style? Is that just did you screw up making like a deep dish? Like that's
What'd you do to the pizza?
Yeah, and then he just plopped one down in front of me. I ate it, and I was like, well, shit, I can't talk smack anymore. This is awesome. So he's been killing for us up, and then upstairs we have the cafe. So
Upstairs? Yeah, second floor to the brewery?
Yeah, it's 2 floors.
Jesus. All right.
So upstairs is the cafe. So
he's got the Dave and Buster's of breweries over here.
Third floor is the brothel.
After hours, the employee lounge.
There
you go.
Um,
The champagne room.
Yeah, you got another special knock. So it's coffee, like, our in-house coffee. We actually do, we have an amazing baker on staff. We do in-house, made, for trademark purposes, they're called Walt tarts. We can't call them Pop-Tarts. Like, I think that's about it. We make those,
Doesn't stop the breweries from making beers like that.
That's exactly what popped into my head. IP theft on the kitchen side too.
Yeah. That's great. They probably leave you alone on that side. They're going after the brewers.
I like to think we're ahead of the curve in that front.
There you go. Exactly.
But it's great synergy. It's dangerous with all that, good alcohol, good food. And, we always try to kind of find ways to kind of cross over and kind of intermingle and work these departments, just because we're fortunate enough to have them where the reality is most breweries don't get that, or they certainly don't get that day one. So we try to, capitalize, make the most of it. Actually, quick shout out here. It's technically work. I had to crack a test bottle.
You don't have to downplay it. You can just say I'm drinking on a Monday night.
Shameless plug. So it's actually, we did a custom coffee roast as part of a pastry stout we were doing with Upper Pass out of Vermont. Shout out to them. They're amazing. Love those guys. Tim, their brewer, is a stud.
They can get such nice stuff.
Yeah. Well, so they actually, they own, and I always screw it up. I always want to call it like a rotisserie, which that's not what it is, like a roastery. So they do their own coffee blending as well, plus our cafe. We put those together. We put it in a beer where we took shredded coconut from the kitchen, toasted it in-house, your classic chocolate vanilla, and then actually used a ton of blackstrap molasses. And,
Oh, nice.
yeah, so it is It comes in 750, and this is my last glass. So,
well, look, time to brew more.
It is also 13.8%.
I was
Boom.
going to ask that.
Ooh.
Not taste like anything. It is. This one's gonna get me in trouble.
Let's go back to the coffee really quick. So you do some in-house roasts. Where are you getting your beans? Are they Colombian? Is they locally grown? Are they Filipino?
We get them from a variety of sources. So we kind of hand select them. We kind of bounce around suppliers. Just some are we always try to keep the company we go through local, and we just kind of work hand in hand with them to kind of just curate everything and keep everything, tight, different, but making sure that, the people who are kind of stopping in and before work every morning are still able to get what they enjoy, which also, we also serve beer, so you can also buy beer.
So once you have your coffee and you're woken up,
Just
now you
when
can go
eat,
downstairs
on
and
the way
fall
down
asleep.
to
Yeah.
work, yeah.
It's smart
How
you put the
many-
coffee
how many-
upstairs and not the beer upstairs. That was smart.
Oh yeah, I don't want to think what the weight of a 10-barrel tank full would do on a second story floor.
Or a 13% stout that people have to then walk back downstairs to get where they need to go.
I mean, our owners have a good sense of humor. I would love to throw a log of this and switch it out from like the cold brew line and just see if people notice.
People pick up on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't fly though. I'd enjoy it.
Is that like an Impractical Jokers scene?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll get Murr to go on. And what do you mean? It's coffee. I don't know that.
I taste the coffee.
I taste the coffee. I mean, what are you talking? Q will be back
how
there
many-
like
how many
slinging.
taps in the tasting room?
Yeah. Sorry, Steve. What?
How many taps in the tasting room you guys are pouring?
We generally try to keep it between 8 and 12 different lines going. All of it produced in house. So we don't really do guest taps. We'll sometimes we've talked about it with some kind of upcoming collabs. We might bring in a couple kegs just to drop along with our collab, but
You guys licensed farm brewers?
sorry.
Are you a licensed farm brewer or micro?
Micro. So when we were first opening up, and especially in the state of New York with all of those, awesome incentives, we were looking really, really heavily at the farm brew license. Really kind of what steered us away from it was the New England style IPA as that percentage kind of goes of New York grown. And that also are the farmers able to keep and scale up in that fashion, but that also then takes off, the likes of, Galaxy, Citra, Eldorado,
Oh yeah.
any Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, if you can kind of sneak it through, or some of the more proprietary strains off the table. And, with everything going on, we just, we're in a kind of an adult alcoholic playground. So we just wanted to make sure we had, as many avenues to explore as possible.
That was always my question with the farm brewing license. It's a great incentive for a brewery. For it's getting a little tougher now. But are there those incentives there for farmers to produce those grains and those hops that the breweries need?
And that's the whole thing behind it.
Yeah.
They wanted to make it where the farmer now has an avenue to sell. They tell them, plant this many acres. You're going to sell it because this many breweries are going to have to buy it. And that was the whole idea behind it. I mean, it works, and there's a lot of tax incentives that go along with it. But as you were saying, Keegan, when I have my brewery, same thing. It's just the amount of other things that you cannot get here in New York. Those sexy hops, even stuff like that. You have a little bit of better product, a little cheaper, and you could always get what you need.
We actually have a couple sessions on this.
And also as each, it's, don't quote me, but it, every year, 2 years that
percentage goes up,
creeps up. So it's something where it was very appealing to us, and it was like, we can make this work at this level, but looking ahead when now it's 80%. It was just really around the hops
Yep.
that, did it for us. We try to use as much New York grain, as we can. You have 1886, Empire, you have some spots down the Hudson Valley doing, growing, malting, all of that. And I personally also just really like using things like, spelt, emmer, bringing in some of these more, ancient grains that are also really good for farmers, that it's not particularly taxing on the land and are durable, where there's even less risk of, losing a crop due to inclement weather or some sort of infestation.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I mean, I have two questions to follow up. First, Ryan, what were you going to say? You said you had some interviews with people that were talking about this?
Yeah, we actually have 3 sessions that are kind of dedicated almost to this topic. So one Howard did with or I guess 4 sessions to a degree. One Howard did with the malters, so Hudson Valley Malt, Epiphany Malt, and Riverbend, I believe was the third.
Yep.
Talking about the malt side of things. We're talking about the hop side of things. We have Ian from North Fork, and I'm blanking on who's at North Carolina. It's the university.
Dr. Janine Davis from the Horticultural Sciences Department at NC State.
Holy shit, we might as well call Ian a doctor too. That guy's a freaking mad scientist.
So I said right off the bat, I'm like, I am walking into this knowing that I'm the dumbest person on this call.
Sorry, Ryan, you might have been.
Cool.
You might have been. Ian's
Definitely.
a flood of information, and then you had a real doctor, so yeah.
And then, so we had both brewery guilds. So the New York Brewers Guild and North Carolina Brewers Guild to talk about the sessions in the respective states. And this is actually one of the topics in the New York Brewers Guild of, on the malt side, things are coming along pretty well. It's the hop side that they're trying to catch them up. And like Steve said, they're actively going in and trying to catch the hop side up. But they've been doing a ton of work with Cornell. And as much as they're trying, there's just a certain process because you need to kind of get it up to speed and up and running, and it's going to take a while to get the hop side up.
I guess my question is, Keegan, when you guys got in on it, was the percentage already higher than when it was first introduced? Did you get in on the ground level, and then as you progress throughout the years, your percentage goes up? I'm not sure how exactly it works.
Our understanding, based on, talking and everything, was that it doesn't really matter when you get in. Is like each year, if you have that license, you have to meet that requirement.
So if it's 70% this year, that's 70%. It doesn't reset for you at 40% when it started, and then you can catch up in 4 or 5 years.
It was by 2022. Again, don't quote me on the numbers. Like 60% by 24, 25. It's 80, and it's not something like, well, if you've gotten early on it, you're locked in at that, that 20, 40%. It's everyone kind of goes together.
Yeah. So when they kicked it off in 2012, it was at 20, which was super acceptable. Right. And the two things kind of go hand in hand as they've been trying to grow up the malt and the hop side. And that's why they kind of based the numbers as they did, because giving time for things to kind of get up and running. So now I believe it's at 60%. I think that kicked in like 2019. And I want to say 2024, I think it's going to 90%.
Yeah.
And that's not
tough.
long enough. I think you should have had at least maybe like 4 years in between each increment, just to allow the farms to catch up, and then allow the distribution to catch up, and then allow the breweries to catch up. And then I think a progression would have worked better.
Well, it's always easy.
Breweries are doing dual licenses.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting a farm and getting the micro.
Right. Because then you can brew certain brews under the farm, and then the ones that you want to use.
And you can open up an additional location. You can serve the spirits and the wine.
Yeah, is that, Keegan, something you consider just to kind of secondary your licensing, just so you can do that expansion once, I guess, COVID's over, obviously, and after you've got a few years under your belt?
We would love to. It's really, again, to kind of circle back to the hops, and that it's not an indictment on growers or like the legislation. You're looking at really 3 to 5 years before a farmer is going to have a commercially viable crop.
Right.
Big investment for them in time and space.
I also don't envy them, because on top of all that work, they then have to do the tough job of guessing what hops are going to be in demand.
What's going to be cool 5 years from now?
Yeah, and
You make it cool.
We can't even do that. So, and that's not even factoring in like, oh well, what are other people growing? Because much like any kind of agricultural supply, if it's overproduced, their price drops. I don't envy them at all. They have a tough job, and I love and respect what they're doing. And that's not even just for new variety. That's just if they want to add additional acreage, as they're saying, oh, this farm license is catching on, or people are really just liking our hops. They still have to go through all of that.
And on top of it, let's say the license does catch on, but then it hits a wall, and now you've overextended yourself by buying more acreage, by planting more hops, by guessing what the new hop is, and that ends up flopping. I mean, what do you do from there?
Look at Ryan at 27 hops. He was planting all different types of hops. Some
the hop yard at Route 27. Yeah.
And now he's doing CBD.
Yep.
The majority of his fields are all
hemp plants.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
He's just waiting for that other legislation to pass.
Yep.
Yes,
where it's not just hemp.
Well, if you are going to do that, the hemp plants are actually really, really good for prepping soil for hops.
So smart. So a
that
little rotation.
Yeah, so that's something. Yeah, you can kind of rotate the fields a bit there, or you can ride the hemp. I mean, if that's
Yeah.
Wait on the legislation,
Both.
stockpile, get ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys have the same problem in New York. I mean, the thing that is actually a problem down here, and it'll get talked about a little bit, I think, by Dr. Davis from NC State. Like, there are hop growers down here, but the yield, like per acre of land, the yield that you can get on the hop strains growing in North Carolina is just nothing comparable to what they're getting in the Pacific Northwest and a lot of these other regions. And so,
and it's all weather,
right?
Yeah.
And so it ends up being it's a cost issue because they have to charge more to just make it by, and then it becomes
that brewery's not going to buy your hops if they can just ship something in from Oregon.
And then you also have to make the investment as an agriculturist or a farmer to then possibly to weather that storm, especially up here in the Northeast, and do greenhouses, to build a greenhouse, the temperature control, utilities involved, the watering, everything.
One of the key things too is any of the real United States. I'll go with North America hops that are sexy. They're all trademarked.
Right.
Mosaic, Citrus, Simcoe, Cashmere.
Galaxy.
They're all, and so farmers here in New York and North Carolina can't grow them. I mean, they could probably steal a rhizome, grow them, but you have to call it something else.
Yeah.
And then who gives a shit if it's not called Galaxy?
Exactly. No, you can't grow Galaxy in the States anyway. But
because if you don't call it Galaxy, it's not Galaxy.
Right.
The closest I've seen was actually off a Racow, though. Like they were calling it something different. A lot of the growers I've spoken to say it actually takes to the soil really well. The issue is it is just not disease resistant, so it dies really quick. Unfortunately, with hops as a plant, you can, it's kind of like that saying where you don't have enough blood in your body to be hungry, think, and have other parts all work together. You can pick two of the three. It's kind of the same with hops, where you can kind of pick high alpha acid, high oil, or something that's going to be able to kind of fight off disease and pests. And especially with New England IPAs, you look at take a Galaxy, that oil content, which is why all these kind of super sought after hops are sought after, is how much flavor they get, which is right from the oil. Coincidentally, they're all also very high alpha, and New Zealand, Australia don't have any natural, diseases or pests. So
they actually have no dewy mold, which was when I heard that, and that's a big killer of hops in especially on the East Coast, is mold. The soil they're in, they don't even plant them in a mound like we do in the States. They plant them flat, and just the climate and the soil, they don't have to ever worry about dewy mold or mites.
Yeah,
you do have to worry about kangaroo attacks.
That you do have to.
There's that.
And a koala.
And apparently hail attacks in New Zealand this year.
They're COVID free, but yet they have that.
Yeah.
It's
And I
fine.
think too, going forward, like kind of tying it back into that farm license, and I think it'll be, or at least hope it'll be true for New York and another states, is again the idea of the like state or regional or localized flavor. Yes, obviously smaller producers are going to have to charge more for those hops. They do not, they might have the same name, but a lot of times they don't have the same taste. And for me as a brewer, I love that. It's the same thing as, when they hype, wines with, the terroir that comes through in the hops, to be able to do that and, what you're getting off local grain, you can really kind of create that, that New York, that North Carolina, kind of flavor. I mean, you really want to go, all the way with it. Throw a cool ship in there, have it, you're inoculated. Go out, swab with a little, air plating, go culture some stuff up you swabbed off a tree or this or that. Go full circle with it.
Sure. The couple of people checking in on Instagram, they've come and gone, but Butch C73 says, "What's up? Farmingdale Brewing Company," which I don't think is a brewing company. I think it's just a bar. Bubbly Beer Drinker. He's a constant one I see online a lot. Jeff Sadden from Ocean. Oh, wait, I got it here.
Ocean Hill Apple Brandy.
Ocean Hill Apple Brandy. Jeff was checking in saying, "What's up? There's my brandy." There he is.
What number bottle is that, Mike?
I have bottle number 104.
Hand numbered by Jeff himself.
It is true. West Babylon Superstar 948. That's our buddy that does some really great live reviews over at the West Babylon Superstar. Cilantro Denver, I don't know who that is. Jordan R, we know. Sheila from over at Long Island saying what's up. She loves beer on Instagram, so check her out. So, yeah, just a bunch of people saying hi.
All right, I want to get into, tell me a little bit about this wonderful Belgian ale I've been drinking.
Oh, are you enjoying it?
I'm going to go open mine.
Okay, there you go. Open it now. Get it done. Get it now.
So that's our...
Wait, before you say that, Keegan, I want to say I was 100% amazed that it made to my house without breaking. For some reason, and thank God you sent some beer to us. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But when it was on my doorstep, I picked up and I heard a rattle. And I went, oh no. I brought it in. I'm like, okay, it's not wet. All right, good. So I put it on my counter. I opened it up. Perfectly fine. You did whatever you did to magically make those things come in the right way and fully intact was awesome. And so I gave the bottles to these guys because they're the real Belgian drinkers. I love the IPAs, though they both got IPAs as well. Let's start with the Belgian. Go ahead. Sorry. Shoot it off.
So,
I just want to say thank you for shipping a beer.
No, cool.
It's a long-winded response to thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. I mean, kind of hard to do this without trying the beer. And
Yeah, it was a tough ride to get up there for the weekend with everything that's going on.
Yeah, just you wait for race season, and when it's nice out.
Let me ask you a question. How far are you away from Hunter Mountain?
Mountain,
about an hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of those. It could be closer, but there's no kind of that direct road, so you kind of got to get off and kind of make your way through the forest.
I might be doing a loop back from Hunter in a few weeks, and I might stop by and say what's up.
Every time I hear Hunter, I think of Entourage. Like, if you can see Hunter, you can see anywhere.
if you can see Hunter. Yeah,
it's also the site of the the New York Guild Festival, which is always a great time.
That's one of the ones on our radar to broadcast from. That's one of the ones we want to head up to. We've had talks to people, I'd say 3 years ago when we first started. I'm looking at all these festivals around New York State going, we got to get up there, shooting out DMs, just saying this, and they're like, yeah, just let us know when it gets closer and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the ones we would love to go to.
Late night, it gets interesting. That might be one you have to do the most amount of editing of any of your episodes.
Believe it or not, Keegan, no, it isn't. We've had some really rough ones, and we don't edit. We don't edit curses. We don't edit content.
Fuck.
Exactly. See, Pete knows. We don't do that. So go ahead. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. Classic segue. So, whatever it takes, what we just kind of made is just kind of throw our hands up, COVID. The label art, we use a couple different artists. So that was actually done by one of the daughters in the family that owns Whitman. So, she took it upon herself, and we wanted to really kind of showcase that. And it's just a really nice, simple, easy drinking saison. So again, kind of going back to those, grains a little. We used both spelt and emmer in that beer, and it kind of gives it a little, I think, more kind of a light, smooth mouthfeel, a little nuttiness, but really what I think shines through is the yeast. So that was one we actually got from a lab in Canada. One of their founders was actually one of my professors when I was going to school. So that's just a little kind of side text of like, hey man, like what do you got? What do you got that's like new or like not quite listed yet? Like, come on, hook me up.
Perfect.
Boom. Yo, bro, hook me up.
And I honestly, I love that strain now. I get a lot of kind of like ripe pear and these just kind of like fruity, like almost like orchard-esque kind of driven notes to it. And a nice, dry, crisp, mouthfeel to it. Yeah, it's not something that's going to really kind of like coat your mouth or really linger on the tongue. And, I think it's trying to walk that line of really kind of packing in the flavor, but still making it, very, light and sessionable.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm, that's one of my, favorite beers that we have out right now. And thank you for, again, shipping that out to us.
Yes.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
It smells amazing.
This is all I have left of it. And,
you're annoyed that you only have that much left of it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, like I said, more reason to swing through on the.
There you go. Yeah. On the Hunter Trail. You want to come up to Hunter? We go tubing? Hunter? You want to go tubing? Get Johnny Drama. Go ahead tubing with us.
Yeah.
Pete, you're a big Belgian fan. What's first impressions right off the bat?
Love it. Super effervescent. Smells amazing. Tastes like a saison. It's good. I fucking love it.
It tastes like, that's right up your alley. You and Steven love. I like Belgians too, but not as much as you two do. I'll IPA it all day. In fact, I might actually end up IPAing it all day. And give us a little breakdown about this. So this is Flow State. It poured out almost like a wheat. I know it's gonna be hard to translate on that because it looks very orange juicy because of the color temperature in my basement. But it actually poured out a lot lighter than I thought it would for a. I guess an IPA, or is it a New England style? Yeah, New England style IPA.
So but
that doesn't really speak to it being not juicy. So tell us a little bit about how you broke this down.
So it was so it's an all Nelson Sauvin hop, and Nelson Sauvin, as us here know, and possibly the listeners, or if they don't, it is tends to be kind of in that kind of more floral, that white wine, gooseberry are always kind of those, key notes that kind of get like really thrown around. And as such, we just didn't want it to kind of get lost in the standard kind of big citrus, bold esters. We wanted to kind of keep it light, let the hops just kind of shine through, do their own thing. And as such, we went a little higher than our traditional bill on it with wheat malt.
That's where the lightness comes from, yeah.
Yep. Just to kind of punch it up a bit, and let it get out of the way. Sometimes with that that two-row pale malt, you can kind of get some grainy characteristics, which obviously, we don't want in this, and we just. Like I said, we wanted the hops to do the work. This isn't something where we're trying to have, the IPA strain, get it propped up with esters. This is just hey, we like this hop for what it is. Here it is.
And you primarily use Nelson for this one? Was there anything else in the build?
Yeah, entirely Nelson.
Oh, so it's just like a single hop New England.
So did you have to sell your firstborn for that hop, or?
No, I just had to be on my best behavior and, just make sure our owners were in a good mood, and tried to bury it a little bit on the order list. but it's the kind of the nice thing is like going into it, we kind of have our set budgets where it's something where when I order for that or like a hop like that, that'll be something where we'll throw a lager in the tank that week, so the cost kind of offset being just grain, water, yeast, let it sit, barely any hops, versus now we're throwing a lot of expensive hops in one, so kind of trying to balance it out that way.
When you're getting such a great deal in vanilla pods, I mean,
you can offset the cost there.
Right.
There may be a reason you don't see a whole lot of single hop Nelson Sauvin IPAs out there. So
well, we thought we had it, and it was like let's do it. So
that's when
I don't know how often we'll be able to get to make this one, but I'm always gonna be excited and stockpile when we do.
I have one left in the fridge. I'm gonna save it then, because if I'm not gonna see that for a while, I'm gonna hold on to it till the day I need it. What's the ABV on this? Because I didn't see it on the can art, which by the way is pretty cool. I like what looks like the front of my notebook back in 8th grade. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So so that one clocks in at, I want to say, around 6.5.
Okay.
Question mark.
Question.
It's honestly, it's one of those, I don't legally have to put it on.
Right.
Well, I won't. It'll be.
Why is that?
It's in the social media post.
It's in there somewhere.
Part of it is just, and especially with COVID, the label approval times have been very hit or miss. And when you're kind of looking at the shelf life and the stability issues that kind of come with the style, we didn't want like, okay, it's made, well, we can't package it yet because we got this thing. And then with ABV, you really have about a 0.2%
leeway.
Yeah.
5.8 on the Untapped.
Yeah, but that's user based. That's not he didn't make that, so they're just guessing.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Sure.
Yes.
Now,
for us, it was also with that too, to really kind of wait until we hit terminal gravity to then fire off a label. Because again, for us, where it is, especially in that first year, that it is a lot of one-offs. We don't really have the data points of being like, well, we made this before. It was this percentage, put this percentage on the
right.
label.
You don't want to have to stick to that if you get something else out of the next one.
Gotta double check social media. It is 5.8% on social media.
There you go.
So.
There you go. So we'll stay with that.
True.
I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Yeah.
But
you missed
let the record show.
Yeah.
but that's what
5.8,
Pete made up. Pete just
8.5.
created that out of nowhere.
It's
So.
fine.
Why not?
Yeah.
how
No,
many
but I mean-
pounds did you dry hop?
Yep. Dry hop Nelson.
How many pounds though? Because the aroma I'm getting from this, and obviously that beautiful haze. Man, you put a lot of hops in there, brother.
Believe it or not, only 22.
Huh.
For
20
10 barrels?
22 pounds in a 10 barrel.
Get the come on, man! Don't be lying to me now.
That's minuscule.
Oh, that's not really something we advertise. It's not even really like a point of pride, but we're really happy, and that's kind of again why we're able to do something like an all Nelson beer like this is we're 20 to 25% of the total hop usage of a lot of these bigger IPA factories. It's something that I've just honestly been playing around with with most of my career in brewing, and we think it works. Part of even going back to the ABV on the label, I am a notorious kind of tinker with recipes. No matter what, it could be the best beer ever made. I'm gonna taste it and be like, but if I just do this little bit, I could do this and that. Which, to be fair, tinkering does not always mean make better.
It's true.
Yeah, I actually had a cellarman of mine once, not at Whitman, dragged me around to a can release because I was like, yeah, it's good, and like I'm glad people are enjoying it, but I just want to and literally like pulled me to the back of the brewery, and he's like, we're not open yet, but you see where the line for people to like get cans ends? And I'm like, no. And he's like, exactly.
Is it Treehouse? Did you go to Treehouse?
Recipe. So this was it was Ice Cream Man at back east.
Ah, okay, all right.
So and that's like in all Citra, New England.
Mm.
You know, I'll do 1 to 2 hops. At a certain point, I think things just kind of, are able to get muddled, and I like to just be able to just pick out the distinctive flavor.
And highlight that flavor and present it to everybody like a pedestal. Here you go. This is the hop. This is the beer that goes with it.
$40 a pound for something, like I'm gonna damn well make sure you taste it.
That's a good point.
I like the way you think.
Yeah. I got a couple of questions by what's on the board. I'm going to post the question, and I'm going to go to the bathroom because I was trying to hold it, and I was down here early in my bunker basement with Joe Biden next to me over here. And and my question is, so there's 2 styles that we had, the Belgian and the IPA. I want to find out what else, because you said you have 8 taps. What else can someone, as they walk in, or what you have canned, what else would be on the board? Because I want to see, like, I know you said lagers and things like that. I want to see the diversity, throughout the board that you guys are producing and have up now.
So right now we have a Danish style dark lager, which is essentially that we took, something like a Czech dark lager, made it our own. I'm just personally not too crazy about Czech yeast. The Danish yeast I hadn't worked with, but it had a cool write-up, and I was just like, yeah, this works.
Throw it in there.
And that's something we were able to lager for 3 months.
Wow.
Really happy with how it came out. We have a porter on board, pretty much just a classic English porter. But porter was my first GABF Gold, so stylistically, really, really just, a personal favorite. Obviously, again, we have the the pastry stout. We're probably going to drop that this week, whatever it takes. Flow State, obviously. We have our it's not a true Berliner, but I don't think anyone who makes them anymore really kind of the new aged with fruit. So we have one out right now that's a combination of blackberry and blueberry. In total, we used over 420 pounds of pureed fruit in the 10 barrel.
It's a smoothie sour.
It's a lot of sugar.
And then we have just a classic, easy drinking American light lager. We're actually only in takeout right now.
Okay.
So it's so we're slowing the in-house production a little bit, and we're still able to kind of kick things off that draft board, which is just very reassuring and nice to see. So
yes.
So
now you guys do any deliveries, or it's all just curbside? People come and get.
So it's as of right now, curbside. We are implementing a kind of weekly order form where you can either order it and we'll do something. You can come in and pick it up. And we're still kind of debating amongst ourselves with kind of how far out we're going to expand personal delivery, kind of by neighborhood and concentration of orders and things like that.
By the way, I lied. I went up and got another beer. That's what I did. Yeah, because
it's on the way.
I'm on, yeah. By on the way, you mean
in his bathroom.
That's,
so, yeah.
You got to keep a
that
tub full of
toilet
ice.
tank is just the right temperature, so you'd be stupid not to.
It's a tub full of ice, and then in the tub I also have beer and kidneys. So that's how I roll.
There you go.
Where else would you keep your kidneys?
Boom, that's right. I mean, it'd be a totally undermining of the kidney collection if I didn't put in the tub full of ice.
Well, you know what time it is, right, boys?
I do. It's time for Steven's questions. I gotta get a promo. I'm terrible.
I'm telling you. All right, so I'm gonna start with Keegan, but everybody else, it's the same questions. But Keegan, so it's 3 questions. First question is, what was that first craft beer that turned you on to craft beer? What was that one that you said, what is this? Holy shit. Second is, what's your favorite style? And then finally is, what is your go-to beer now, other than the beer that you brew?
Did you write those down?
I remember 1 and 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's about par for the course.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So so the first one that really got me, and it's a bit of a toss-up. It wasn't the first one. The first one that really kind of made me say, wow, that kind of got me into at least exploring what craft beer was, I believe, Midas Touch by Dogfish.
Ah. 60
so
minute. What am I, a cretin? Get out of here. I got aged 120 for you, buddy.
Oh, there we go.
Boom.
I have a couple of those upstairs.
I got these are 2013s.
Wow, that's extreme.
Yes, I've been
That would be
aged.
like that's a classic West Coast style, right?
Well, I don't even want to say it's that. I mean, it's over the top.
Goddamn barley wine.
Man, I can
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
how
pretty
much
much.
that would destroy my palate.
It's 12% to start, and after I've aged it, I'm sure it's a little more than that right now. So it probably would rival Keegan's 13% if I cracked it right now. But I'll save this for one of our get-togethers, and we'll enjoy this last one that I've been aging for so long.
We'll break some stuff out.
All right.
So that was really the one that got me into at least exploring craft beer. It kind of became, instead of getting together with friends for Sunday football, it became getting together with friends for Sunday football. And then everyone had to kind of go out and get like at least a 750 or a 4-pack of the beer we hadn't tried.
It became a beer share with football on the side.
Yeah, it was a beer share before we even knew what beer sharing was.
With that said, are you a Bills fan? Are you a Giants, Jets fan? What are you? Uh-oh. That's all
You're
right.
from Connecticut. I'm going to guess Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I have all my extended families from Boston.
They're wicked
The
smart.
second-
If they
The second
followed
I
Brady.
hear that there's like a beer share going on at a football party, I just assume it's a Jets party because you don't
Just no one's
even wanna
watching the game.
Yeah, we have to distract ourselves. There's no reason to watch the football.
No, hell no.
It was long enough ago for me that like the Patriots were actually good.
Yeah.
So it was kind of it's the opposite of the Jets. It was
All
a
12 months
foregone
ago.
conclusion.
Yeah.
It was oh, we're gonna win, so like it's whatever. It's background. Put it on mute. What bottle's that?
Are you still following the Patriots, or did you follow Brady down to Tampa Bay?
Nah, Patriots. I think Connecticut really kind of instilled that like
Okay.
ride or die. There's too many of the, well, I like the Jets, but then I'm a Red Sox fan and I'm such a front runner. Like LeBron's in Cleveland, so I'm going to say I like that for the NBA.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Once
All over the
Whalers
map.
Once the Whalers left, you know,
Hartford? The whale? That only comes around once, maybe
Once in a
twice.
lifetime.
Yeah, once or twice a lifetime. God damn it, Renee.
Go Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Sounders. I mean, they got the Wolf Pack that became the Whalers, and like back to the Wolf Pack for the Rangers.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, and then Heady Topper was like the first one where I was like, oh, this is like cool. So that was actually an accident. We found a like a package store that was specializing in craft beer, and it was just, you know, kind of Google search, all this stuff. So that was like, we knew that was like the holy grail. But we had also kind of read enough to know that like you only get it in Vermont. So we go in, and immediately one of my buddies, who's now actually a head brewer himself, goes up to the counter and is like, hey, so do you have like any Heady Topper? And I'm just like, oh, God damn it. Like I wanted to kind of just like browse and not just be like, hi, I'm new to this. And the guy just kind of looks at us and goes, yeah. I'm like, well, okay, shit. So the guy was like, I had a buddy drop off one can. You guys have really never had it. Like, okay, let's crack it out now.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. So that was a huge one for me, that it was like, oh, it can be this. Like, all right, let's go down this rabbit hole, and you know, still falling to this day.
Yeah.
There you go.
Stylistically, that answer for me, for what I like to brew, will change, you know, day by day. I kind of lean towards, you know, mixed culture, barrel projects, or just, you know, big, heavy, dark beers, you know, like imperial stouts and, you know, barley wines. Really, for me, the more variables I have to play around and just kind of, again, tweak and, you know, modify, and they just because of that, it holds my attention longer.
I was just gonna go there. It's that whole ADHD.
Yeah.
Though now that I lived and went to school and all of this in Canada. The style I miss most is the icebox.
Yeah, you can't find them down here.
Steve, let's talk about icebox.
You don't want
the second time that came up in my discussions today. Like, how is
Really?
that even possible? I
Is it?
don't
Is,
think I've talked about it twice in like my entire life.
A style you basically can't buy in America. I mean,
No, so for basically to make it in America at a brewery, you have to also have a distilling license because
Right.
it's technically classified here as freeze distillation.
Yep.
In Canada, they're like, it's fucking cold. Yeah, that's
you mean I'm brewing this outside? I mean, that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah. So it's like it'll probably happen anyway. So we don't care. Dilute your glycol to whatever, turn it down. Just we're not dealing if the cellarman quits because he's like de-icing a fermenter.
like the outside of a plane when you're about to take off in
Yeah,
February.
Exactly, yeah.
Spraying it. I don't think I can work for the airport now. I maybe got a lot more money in a union, and I don't have time for this. I mean, the Labatt Blue is one of those ones, like all those Canadian Molson Ice and all those. Is there a brewery up in Canada that's doing an ice bock that stands out? Is there one up there that really kind of like is above all the rest?
If there is, I can't say I've tried it. I've been back stateside for 5-6 years now. When I left, no.
No, just no.
Fair enough.
But what was the one? What would you like to drink if you had your choice and you can get it locally? What would it be?
Tough. It was like Conde Brewery. It was like Twin Pilots, and it was this old school Ontario like English label. Like if you told me it was like founded in like your dad's basement, like cleaning it out for like a move, I would 100% believe you. And
the label looked like the Constitution. It was one of those.
Yeah. It was like, I'm pretty sure Nicolas Cage tried to steal a couple bottles. It was dangerous. I mean, just that freezing process. I mean, you're sacrificing yields. But again, just kind of even where we see down here at regular fermentation temp, like if you ferment colder, it's going to take you longer, but that cold is going to kind of prevent that fusel alcohol from really kind of taking hold of that beer. So you can imagine what dropping it below 32 is going to do. So you get the booziness without it being really any sort of astringent, but the flavor concentrations on it are insane. And especially what I think, what I really like with those is when you kind of throw in some kind of like special W, some special B, just some kind of like really dark, Belgian specialty stuff that concentrate that kind of like toffee, raisin, not so much the kind of like chocolate malt or like the deep roast astringency stuff, but that kind of.
Howard's got an ice bock in his Yeti.
I wish, man.
Yeah.
I've honestly been like looking at the shelves and trying to find one down here, and like you just can't find one on the market. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I look for the hell of it just to see if one is ever going to show up. Just I want to try it, but.
So I literally said earlier today, I'm like, is that even like one of those recognized styles anymore? Or is that one of the things that people just cast off and they're like, yeah, that doesn't exist anymore? It's it's like Bigfoot, Like,
I mean, it's in the beer Bible. It exists. It's a real thing, but
it's in the shipwreck with Captain America under the ice. That's pretty much where you're gonna find those.
Yeah,
it has a Hydra label on it.
I just got to make friends with with a place that has a distilling like added on in their licensing, and like that'll.
There you go.
That I
Interborough.
will put down. That is,
Interborough. Ooh.
I sense a collab in the
I'm just
that's gonna be
saying.
the collab beer. I can't do it here. We're doing it there.
You bring the yeast, and they'll provide all the cold temps, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Let's get that on the books, boys. Let's get that done.
And then beer that I'm drinking a lot of now.
Not your own.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually really weird, and I get a lot of flack from the brew team at work.
It's a mainstream beer.
It's not that I actually don't drink a lot of their stuff. I get weirdly self-conscious where I'm like, it's like it feels egotistical that I'm enjoying this. Like I'm just go in the back and I'll drink when no one's watching me. And now I'm drinking alone in the dark, and that's
no one can see me.
That's the best way to drink, by yourself alone in the dark.
You're crouching down behind a cardboard box like you're in Call of Duty.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I would say there isn't really one in particular. At the moment, I've been doing a lot of like the kind of split it between 3 breweries, all New York State.
Okay.
So, Over Creek, I've had some really, really cool stuff off their, their barrel program, and they're just, really awesome guys. They're going to start scaling soon, and I couldn't be happier for them, and they're gonna just.
And where are they out of?
It's one town over from Beacon. So,
okay. So like Poughkeepsie area, or what's the other one across the bridge?
A little further south. It's literally like it's like a 10-15 minute drive from Hudson Valley.
Yeah, Hudson Valley area. All right.
Yeah.
Two-way? Is it two-way?
That was one of them.
Yeah, 2-way's right there.
And so I'm blanking, but I was able to kind of go down that way somewhat recently, so I always try to check in, restock, and they've just really honestly never disappointed me.
Keegan, did you place an order online for Hudson Valley beers and then find out by the time you checked out that there are none left? Oh, that happened to me. Now twice, by the way. Twice. I wanted to get
not bitter.
Why don't we get him on the show, Mike?
If we ever get him on the show, I'm gonna lose my shit.
The old cellarman who kind of had pulled me aside is actually he works there now, so it's
son of
kind
a
of
bitch.
Yeah, that's more like it popped up, you're doing something cool, I want dude, like set some aside, we'll link up next time one of us are in town, and we're also from the same hometown, so I'm like, it's easy enough. I'll get it.
Oh yeah, is it easy enough? Is it? God damn it! So I'm on the beach. I'm at Tobay or Gilgo or something right here on the South Shore. It was over the summer the first time, and they released this awesome sour IPA series, and I like a good sour IPA, bread IPA, stuff like that. So I put just 2 of the bottles in my cart. By the time I went to check out, sold out. Are you fucking kidding me? Don't let me put it in my cart. Doesn't it mean that when you put it in the cart, it's yours? They allocate it to you.
That's normally what I would think. You usually get that, and then it's like you have however many minutes, seconds to complete checkout.
Like Ticketmaster, right? You have 7 minutes. Yeah,
it's not how it works.
God
By the
damn
way,
it!
I probably wouldn't advertise that you were on Gilgo because you probably just came up in like a serial killer search right now. So
yeah, they have my voice print now. I wasn't old enough for those killings, so I'm good. I was 7, so if I could pull it off, you know what? All the more power to me if I could pull it off at 7 to take a hooker to Gilgo and kill her. But and the other time was like a month ago. I did it again, so they came out with a huge release. And then you know what? To be honest with you, in true fashion, if I went up there, I get whatever I want. So when you walk into the brewery over the last summer when I went up there, and anytime you go there, you can get pretty much anything that they have on sale. They set aside enough for in-house people, but it's the online orders that were pissing me off because I wanted shipped to my door, and I'm like, I don't want to travel, an hour and a half up to the brewery. I want it. Oh, come on! I want my sour. Now I'm being a sour puss instead of a sour IPA fan. But that was it. I was upset. I'm like, God, and I really do enjoy what they have. I mean, my first turn on to that style, sour IPA, was from a local brewery here on Long Island, Harborhead, and they had the basically a Brett IPA, which is in the same sense a sour IPA.
No, and that was their beer just went bad. They fucked up.
No. I know. Will does a great job. So anyway, they had that was a great style, and it was the first time I had that. I went, okay, we're on to something now because I can enjoy the hoppiness and I can enjoy the sourness, the pH drop, and now that's kind of where I'm at. So when I found out Hudson Valley does almost all of that, I was right on board a couple of years ago, and I've had I think at least 2 stops up there in the last few years. But every time I try to order online, man, it's fucking impossible. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean it speaks to the quality of the stuff that they're putting out.
Yeah.
They have they have that following, and that stuff moves for good reason. You know, thankfully I don't really often deal with that. If there's a very particular release, there's someone in that craft beer brewers network that you can kind of shake a couple cans or bottles loose from for most of the time.
There may be some benefits to working in this whole craft beer industry.
Yeah, right. And that's why I signed up. But honestly, the good thing with us at Whitman, and kind of how we have that set up is, if there's something I'm just kind of jonesing for it. It's like, all right, well, let's go make this. I mean, there's been times where I've had beers and I'm just like, this is awesome. And it's like, okay, so what are the flavors that are shining through? Kind of what are the ratios? Like, what's the order? And then just like, all right, well, this is how I think I can get them. And like, all right, go put it on the whiteboard. There's, days, and especially with, the amount of kind of tank and the space and stuff we have, that, this hasn't happened, but I reserve the right to be like, oh, it's on the board that, today is, it's a New England IPA brew. We're going to walk in that morning and just be like, guys, I had this dream where this falcon was flying and it had a clown's head, but like it was like clutching a snake, but the snake was actually this other thing. So clearly that means we're gonna make like the fruited Berliner today.
So you're the Boston Grandma's boy, is what you're talking
about. So we're like, restack the grain, pull that other stuff, and we're doing that now.
I mean, yeah, once it's on the whiteboard, it's getting made no matter what. Even if it takes 3 months, we're going to get to it.
Eventually, that's why it's dry erase.
I missed a little bit about the lineup as I was cracking my third beer here. Fifth beer tonight. What were the other? You said I heard a Danish Belgium. What else was going up on the board?
We already went over that.
I know, but just get a quick rundown. You don't have to explain everything about it.
No, he's a dark lager.
Dark
lager.
Danish dark lager, porter, black and blueberry, kettle soured Berliner, over 420 pounds of fruit. Light, just a classic light American lager. Whatever it takes. Obviously, what we have on tonight, and I think our other IPA actually just hit on Saturday. So that's kind of it for the moment. Just we're at a takeout for the next couple weeks, so we're happy to see stuff kick, but we're kind of slowing the production down a little for the time being, so we don't stockpile.
That time of the year, man.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID, it's the slow season. It's
double slow.
The nice part is that it gives us a chance to get a head start for things that we're gonna start doing some of our lagers that are gonna drop in June, July. That we can kind of start, aging and conditioning things on fruit, on wine grapes, on let some some yeast, some bacteria do their work. So this is the time to do it. Like, again, we have those 9 tanks, so we're in that really cool, unique position to be able to do those things and getting after it.
Yeah, so with the location itself, logistically speaking, over the summer, you guys had an opportunity to do outside dining. You had an opportunity to kind of expand a little bit. Give me a little sense of when someone comes up, when it gets a little warmer, are they able to sit outside? Did you have the space out in the parking lot or on a sidewalk or something like that? And then how are you going to kind of attack this upcoming season with COVID still looming? What's the game plan here for having the outdoor dining or ability to still serve somewhat out of the tap room, but at the same time have people outside?
So we are very, very fortunate in just, again, in doing a cafe, like killer kitchen program, and like the brewery all in one. The building itself is huge. And that really has kind of come in handy for us during this whole thing, because the larger building translates into larger total capacity numbers. So 50% for us is, still honestly bigger than 100% for some restaurants in town.
Wow.
Everything we have set up downstairs in the tap room space every table is distance 6 feet. So there's, where we've just kind of pulled a bunch of tables. So there's no kind of worrying about that. We also will sit and pour beer and serve in the cafe. So if we are lucky enough to run into problems where we're at capacity, which we've actually been very lucky enough that we run into that still now during COVID, during some of our slow time indoor dining.
Yeah.
And then outside, we actually were able to construct a small fenced-in patio.
Oh, nice.
So we have, I would say, about 8, kind of picnic tables outside as well, and hopefully try to sneak a few more projects under the bar.
Haha. Do you have any like events? Like you have trivia night? Do you have like the bar and a beer kind of thing? What do you got going on throughout the weeks to kind of entice people to come in outside of their comfort zone? Maybe I don't mean that negatively. I mean positively, giving people a space to kind of be there, relax, and feel comfortable.
So nothing in the way of events like that. We've kind of talked about doing some trivia. I believe we've been talking with a specific company to do that. I haven't heard anything on that movement in a few weeks, but again, we also transitioned to takeout.
And I assume since you're in Saratoga Springs, you're horse friendly at the tap room.
And
Bring your horse.
Right at the edge of the parking lot, they got the old timey like Western thing, so you can tie them up, and water trough. They'll let our light logger, and
You get the bar doors that just swing in and swing out.
No dogs, only horses.
Yeah.
You got to differentiate yourself somehow, right?
You can't do curbside pickup if you're not on a horse.
That's right.
And don't bring any kids. It's only ponies. Ponies.
Little ponies.
If it's a kid on a pony, they're allowed in.
No dogs, no kids, horses and ponies only, or get the fuck out.
Yeah, miniature horses sometimes, not on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are talking to Dan from Artisanal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like literally
Yet another collaboration that's going to happen within the town. A couple people.
the name of the beer is going to be No Dogs, No Kids. Like
I have a couple of people checking in on Instagram. The Hopped Up Network says, "What's up, guys? We got a potential brand new date for the AC Beer Fest down in Atlantic City, New Jersey, June 3rd and 4th. It's going to be held outside in the entire airfield. So hopefully by the time that rolls around, numbers are low, vaccines are high, and we can get to go enjoy beer. That's probably going to be our coming out party, and I don't mean that in a weird way. We got Lit Punks 127 checking in. I got Old Claverack Brewery. Old Claverack saying what's up. The Real Craft Pass checking in. Everyone's kind of saying what's up on Instagram, so it's nice. I want to talk a little bit about sports because I know we got the guys from 92nd. They're big sports fans here, and I know I got to talk a little bit about North Carolina sports, but I want to kind of make the connection here because I know Keegan talked a little bit about the Patriots, big Giants and Jets fans down here. And then, of course, down North Carolina, are you a Tennessee Titans fan? Are you a?
No, so I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. I was a Jet season ticket holder until I moved down.
Wow.
Here.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
It was not the best decision I've ever made.
Nope.
That's a lot of wasted money.
You might as well have bought a brewery.
I would say we did have a blast tailgating. So I convinced my dad. I kind of twisted his arm into doing the whole thing, and. We got the tailgate tents, we got the grills, the cornhole sets, the whole thing, and it kind of built over the course of a couple of years where we were, starting to do at least a couple of games a year, like 30, 40 people coming out and having a big thing. So that part of it was really cool. The actual on-field content, maybe not so much, but.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Howard. The only 2 football games I've ever been to are Jets games. So my wife works for a company that has, company passes to Jets games, and so we get that little special, buffet, and then we get, whatever we get in the front row seats. And I've enjoyed the 2 football games I've been to. About
debatable if those were real football games.
Right, true, fair enough. They didn't win either one.
You might want to use that term loosely when it comes to the Jets.
They didn't win either one of those. And one was in the pouring rain where I had to stand in a rain slicker Unbreakable, Bruce Willis in Unbreakable, in like the corridor. But I did get to see, on-field play, which was kind of cool. I've never been that close to any sport for that matter, even baseball. And I'm a huge baseball fan. I was a season ticket holder for the Mets for a long time, as you can see the Mets stuff up here. Keegan, I got a quick question for you, though. Yeah, let's go Mets. Ryan's a big Islanders fan. We were talking Mets before. Hockey team. So Connecticut-based, New York native now, and New York living now. Where's your alliance for the hockey teams?
So I mean, if like for just picking for New York or
just in general, if you were gonna go to a game and
Boston across the board, I'm literally wearing a Bruins shirt under
this boy, all right.
I like the Islanders though. I had a buddy when they were at Barclays who had season tickets. Matt Martin was a staple of like my fantasy NHL, and he would just hit people, and we had a weirdly high value.
Yes.
I was going to say that's all he provides.
Yeah.
Clean house. Love. No, I would honestly say the Islanders are probably my second favorite.
There you go. All right.
I like it.
See how the season goes with realignment, if that holds true.
Yeah.
But no, I love them. Like I'm not too big on basketball or baseball, but again, just to not be a front runner.
Right.
I would stay Celtics, Sox, and then I'm also just a big soccer guy.
Oh, what's your soccer team?
Not so much MLS, but Man United for the
Okay,
English
there you go.
Fuck you, Chelsea.
I knew it was going to bring up Steve's internal football play. Howard, I had a question for you because this has been kind of brewing in my brain over the last few hours, I guess. So you're down in North Carolina, and the season is not quite as cold as it is up here. What's the state of breweries down there? Are they still doing outside? Like, how does the scene change from being up here in New York to down there, especially in the winter months?
Yeah, so I mean, great question. And honestly, it's something that I learned when I moved down here is that it actually does get pretty damn cold down here. It's not quite to the level of New York. What I would say is that on average, it's probably about 10 degrees warmer. But where we are, so I'm in the Triangle area. I'm in Durham. Triangle is Durham, Raleigh, North, and Chapel Hill. Mm-hmm. And where we are in the center of the state,
Pete's
somebody's
sad.
Very sad over there.
All his Belgian is gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
The interesting part for us is like the temperature variability is really high. So like it could be 45 during the day when it's 35 in New York, but it'll drop 20 degrees at night. So from a brewery standpoint, I mean, the restrictions are a little bit lighter than New York. They can have some taproom capacity. A lot of the breweries around here have been able to either already had or were able to build out pretty substantial like beer gardens, patios. And we kind of have been going through a little bit of that dead period. It's starting to, and it's very inconsistent weekend to weekend here, but it's starting to warm up to the point where people can kind of tolerate, and especially during the day, get out and really enjoy the tap rooms. And I to me, one of the most encouraging examples was I went over to the Glass Jug, which is about 10 minutes away from me, this past weekend to pick up some of the beers for our VIP beer packs, and also restock my beer fridge, of course.
Selfishly.
Yeah, of course. And it was like 5:00 on a Friday afternoon, and it was the most crowded I have seen it since before COVID.
Good and bad, but still good for the business.
But so crowded in that, like, so they have a big beer garden in the back. They have tables out front. Most of the people were outside, spaced out. But just the most people I've actually seen in the facility drinking beer on tap since pre-COVID. And it was a combination of, it was better weather. I think people are getting a little bit more comfortable with the COVID restrictions. And they were, and they, like a lot of the other breweries around here, are coming up with some special events, some special offers to get people in. So they're doing their Girl Scout cookie and beer pairings. Right now.
There it is.
So, there's a couple of breweries in this area.
Samoa Stout.
Tag along porter.
It was also BYO hazmat suit day, so everybody felt really comfortable.
Super good.
Surprised you don't see more of those, right?
Yeah.
What, the Girl Scout or the hazmat suits?
Hazmat suits. Bring your own hazmat suits.
Yeah, BYOH. It's fine. It's all good.
Whitman just started a new program.
Yeah.
You know, the space like fishbowl, like old school, like space helmet, and then go get like one of the like the full body painters things at Home Depot.
There you go.
I like to wear my
You clearly thought it through.
Yeah, I like to wear my snorkel, full mask snorkel thing that goes up, and I put a little HEPA filter on the back end. that kind of smells like a dryer sheet. Reminds me of college when I'm spoofing in my dorm room.
Wait, what?
That's old school. Don't worry about it, Pete. You'll know when we go out to the hemp yard. We'll figure it out.
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I mean, you guys have seen the worst and the best of what's going on at the breweries firsthand, Keegan, for what you guys are working with, and you guys, Ryan and Howard, from your various areas. Ryan, so you're out here on Long Island, and what's the one place that you've been visiting, frequenting the most, that you've seen a good positive turnout over the last few months?
That's a tough one. So I kind of have 3 go-tos, I would say. So Evil Twin is maybe about, so I'm in Floral Park. So if you know,
Nassau.
I guess Belmont Racetrack is my backyard pretty much.
Naira.
So yeah, there you go. I heard the Naira reference before. I was like, okay,
there it is. I sat one of those spires for hours on end, sitting with a camera watching the planes land at JFK. It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that.
My old neighbor was actually the announcer for
Oh,
for
yeah, I know him.
So
I met him.
He moved out like a few years back, but yeah, he was so yeah, so I would say Evil Twin is not far away from us. That's maybe 25 minutes or so. Huge outdoor area. So
I saw what they did with the place. It's ridiculous what they did with their outdoor area.
Nice heaters on the wall and everything. Yep. So like if you go like, and everything's distance, everything's good, you know, so that's one of the spots for us. North Fork is another one, just super family friendly. You know, went in there one day, we were coming back from out east and stopped in. And
you were pumpkin picking, weren't you?
It might have been apple picking. I'm not sure.
You were pumpkin picking.
Tori was planning the agenda, so
that one.
Christmas tree shopping then.
What were we doing? I actually don't remember what we were doing. I think we went to the aquarium that day.
Riverhead, nice.
Yeah, so we were out there and stopped in, but like I will say, hands down, most family-friendly brewery that you will find. I mean, they literally have a changing table in the bathroom. Like not like one of those flip-down ones. I mean, like full-on like changing table like that you would have in your house.
I'm going to give that credit to Michelle, the taproom manager, who definitely puts a beautiful women's touch on there. I'm pretty sure Pete and Ian. Pete has a couple of kids.
So it's
now.
actually Pete's wife. So it was when Pete had his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete had his kid right before they opened the brewery.
Fuck it, we need a changing table in the bathroom.
So he's like, if I'm going to be here all the time, we need this, right? So yeah, just super family friendly. That's the place that we go out to.
Nice.
If you walk in, the hospitality is, I will say, like second to none. It's probably the best brewery that I've gone to from a hospitality standpoint. And then Dubco is probably my number 3.
Oh, there you go.
Love Dubco. The guys there are great.
Chris and Johnny do a great job, man.
The space is really good. Beer is really good too. I mean, you can't knock it. So
shameless plug, because Dubco and North Fork are both part of Pints of Love.
Yes, they are.
Oh, look at that.
So, and I'm actually drinking some KCBC, who is also a Pints of Love part.
What?
There you go.
Yes. And they've done some crazy stuff. Keegan, you guys have a Brewers Association then in New York State. Do you have like a local Brewers Guild or something like that, or Home Brewers Guild that operates in and around the area?
So they not a local guild. They have a pretty active homebrew club, Saratoga Thorough Brews.
Oh, there you go.
I like the name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know, obviously, pretty quiet as of late.
Yeah.
I mean, Saratoga in general, just again with the track and being so hospitality driven, that, you know, everyone's really rallied around one another and have been super supportive, both people in the craft beer industry or hospitality in general. You know, full admission, I was honestly a little concerned for us when it first happened. You know, we were the new kids on the block. There's all these other restaurants that, you know, just need just as much, you know, love and support. And, you know, they had they have just stronger, more established, more time in the community.
And there's only so much love to go around.
Yeah, and especially too when it's so hospitality heavy. No track season last year, so you have like the hospitality industry with between COVID and then not having like the tourist season, it's kind of a one-two punch. So to see everyone kind of pull together and unite and find ways to help each other and support each other has been really, really inspiring.
And I don't want to shortchange it. During the racing time, you said the 8-week period, it is crazy up there. It is just like a hopping place. Yeah. People out in the streets, people are bar hopping. It is one of the
horses at every restaurant in town.
Yeah, everyone's rolling up on their stallions.
No, they have like fake horses around town that you go up. It's like a tie-dyed horse somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a sight.
We have horse lanes.
Yeah. It's an amazing time, and like I said, I experienced it firsthand for about a week, and it was amazing. I'm like, I want to spend another 6 weeks doing this. I had a full-time job at the time, so I couldn't devote all that much time to it. But it's really very cool. Saratoga Springs. Now, did you hear anything about what's going on in this upcoming season? Are they planning to do some sort of percentage allowed in the stadium? They're going to do the horse racing. Did you hear anything through the grapevine?
The horses are going to wear masks, so
that'll help.
Be all good.
Yeah.
So they just came out with the schedule, so it's pretty much going to be a normal race season.
Nice. Good.
From a spectator standpoint, what I'm hearing is just the kind of the lawn seats, so to speak. Like they're spreading out the picnic tables, and it's just going to be, you have to have one of those. You can't just throw a blanket down because of social distancing.
Right.
And then, designated spacing where it's like every second, third seat kind of thing in the grandstands. And
and that just might be enough to bring enough tourists in there to kind of help support and tread water until this all blows over.
Yeah, that's still, tens of thousands, and that's tens of thousands of people who weren't here, last summer during COVID. And, everyone, I think, everywhere really, you're going to kind of take, help wherever they can get it. And, that's still, Saratoga is, it's a city, but it's a small city. And it's, that downtown area in particular where everything's concentrated, that's still enough people that are going to, fill every place up. So hopefully that's what ends up happening, and it'll be a good boost and a good kind of sign of things are kind of getting back to normal.
And make your reservations now for your hotels up there, because I'm sure it's going to book up people looking for something to do over this upcoming season. And definitely when you get up there, you got to come and visit Keegan at Whitman Brewing Company. Guys, listen, I want to say again, thank you very much for being on the show. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. I had a good time. I want to give you guys some time to give some plugs, so I'll start with Ryan and Howard. Give us the big plug for Pints of Love coming up in February, for 13th and 14th. Again, we'll be part of that complete festival, which includes a ton of crap. I'm going to let you guys describe all that one more time before we get out of here. Give us the big plug.
Oh man, so much to hit.
I know.
So maybe first thing to start off with, right off the bat, use promo code 2021 Wort.
Whoop, whoop.
I say Wort because I'm copying you here.
Yeah, I know it's
W-O-R-T.
pronounced Wort, but we say Wort because the average person, I mean, a lot of brewers listen to us, so they know the deal. But we always kind of followed up with, it's spelled Wort, pronounced Wort. So, go ahead.
Exactly. So 2021 Wort, W-O-R-T. I'll put it that way.
Like it.
And you'll get 10% off your virtual festival acceptance. So $15 before that promo code will give you access to all the content. So we already touched on some of it, right? You have tons of panels. You have really great brewers from both New York and North Carolina. From the Long Island perspective, guys that you were probably very familiar with. I saw that missed glass right there.
That's fine, but
It was smooth.
I didn't know if I felt it. I'm like, there's nothing in it, so I just went all in, put it right here on the table, so it's fine.
But from like the Long Island perspective, you got North Fork, you have Dubco, you have Garvey's Point, kind of moving into the Brooklyn, Queens, Rome, Interborough, KCBC, other half,
Torch and Crown,
TNT,
Alewife. There's so many. Moving up, you have Equilibrium, you have Artisanal. You know, we're really trying to get the best of the best in there, and North Carolina is very much the same deal. We have the Burials, we have the New Anthems, Casita, you know, you name it. Like we have
we're
best
pretty much
there.
scanning from the coast all the way to the mountains and hitting 12 different breweries, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you know, it's a little bit of everything for everybody, and that's really the intent of it. We want it to be something that no matter who you are, no matter what you were interested, you could get a little bit. You know, we mentioned actually before we got on, my wife was a professional ballerina. You know, this is something that we have beer and bar classes, we have beer and yoga classes, we have music, we have a little bit of something for everybody. We obviously have the best podcast in the world, the Wort. So you know, get a little bit of everybody
with a special Valentine's game.
Oh,
which
I know, right?
I'm very excited about this.
I'm gonna let you know, shit went down. We'll just throw it that way.
All right.
My favorite part was when we got a message going, "Is it okay to curse?" And I'm like.
We're like 20 minutes in. We're like, oh shit, we forgot to ask that.
We totally didn't ask what rating we're
How
gonna give
much
this.
more editing did we want to give Mike? Was really the.
And,
You
like,
sons of bitches.
We're sitting there talking to each other. We're like, we're cool with cursing. And what words are they using?
Well, I say,
Well, then
how
I don't
far
want to
is
give it.
it
I don't
on?
want to give it away. Then I had to go sort through like erotic conversation hearts. Be like, can't say that.
Yeah,
That'll play.
we could say it
Can't
here.
say that.
So one of them was "Come on my tits."
I think so. Oh,
Yeah,
God,
it was.
like
One of them was that. So we kind of edited that.
Cock,
I'm about to say we're gonna have to start putting like NC-17
That's right.
warnings
Yeah, it
on
was
the
like
festival.
one of them was suck my cock, eat my pussy.
Yeah, there was those. Those were conversation
they were-
hearts that
I
we.
ate the one that said finger blast.
There you
that
go.
was-
Well, that was good, Pete.
Yeah.
Steve, rather. You got it right.
I
Yeah,
had to do what I had to do.
you had to do what you do.
Well,
But it
what-
ends up on a pretty good note. We had a lot of fun. It's basically a drinking game for all participants that are watching. They grab a beer, they watch us for an hour, and they can participate in a little bit of the drinking game, whether we can do something or not. We'll put it that way.
I love it.
And
the
all
one
of
thing
us
I'd point out-
participate.
Oh, all right.
You see all of your hosts and your guests participate in this one.
There's a very interesting turn in that, which I feel like may not be safe for video. So,
Perhaps. And you see that my interesting turn on my camera went out. I don't know why.
Look at that.
There you go. I'm back in. Don't worry about it. I'll be there.
So the one other thing I would say is, you know, it is New York and North Carolina focused in terms of the breweries. But if you are not in New York and North Carolina, or if you don't have an opportunity to pick up a VIP pack, get your ticket to the festival. Go buy some beers from your local craft breweries. The biggest thing for us out of this is we really want to support the local craft breweries that we all love, that all need some support after what was a really rough 2020. We've got a long ways to go. And so, you know, no matter where you are, you know, get your $15 ticket to Pints of Love, come hang out for the weekend and get some good entertainment, and go buy a couple of packs from whatever your favorite local brewery is, and throw some support their way.
And the key is
Dry January is stupid.
Agreed.
And the key is we want them to be there when we are done. We want to.
Absolutely.
We want them to be there when COVID is over. We don't want them to suffer and then go, oh, I really wish that brewery stayed. We want everyone to go out and support those local breweries, because in the end, when things get better, we're going to want to go back there. And if they're not there to be going back to, we're going to be upset. So support
And,
them now.
yeah,
And
I think the thing that people
Support your
forget.
craft brewery because no one wants to drink Anheuser-Busch products.
I think the thing that people forget is that, you know, there's a lot of time and money that goes into brewing, right? And a lot of people are like, why? Whitman's probably a perfect example. Like, oh, why would you open a brewery like right before COVID or during COVID? And you probably started working on that 2 years before.
Yeah.
And the timing just works out that way, right? And no matter what it is, you go out and you're saving up to upgrade your brewery, or you're starting a new brewery or something. Evil Twins may be a great example. They just built a whole new tap room.
Yep. The
not long
greenhouse.
before everything started. The greenhouse is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to sit there and go, wow, that is a lot of money that was put into that. So those are the things that people don't really think about. They're like, why would you build during COVID? But you started that 2-3 years in advance. It takes a long time to get a lot of those things ironed out. I mean, water licenses, specifically in New York,
Think about
Oh,
it.
Building
yeah.
permits.
Think about how long Torch and Crown was building that production brewery in Manhattan. I mean, that was in the works long before COVID was in a glimmer in anybody's eye. But I would also say, like, if you want to find out more about the festival, if you go to at 90second beer review, 90second beer review on Instagram, we've been posting announcements about sessions that are going to be occurring at the festival for the last couple of weeks now. So you can go there, you can look through our past posts, you can see all different interviews, panels, music performances. We still have a bunch left to announce. We've got just over 30 different sessions going on, so we still have some more to go. So you can go to 90second beer review. In our bio, in the link tree, you can get to buying tickets. You can also go to 90secondbeerreview.com. There's a Pints of Love section of the website that has an overview of the event and of the breweries themselves, and then a link to go buy your tickets and your VIP packs. And then you can also go to Lemonade Social and just search for Pints of Love, and the event will come up on Lemonade Social.
Howard, you're a promo machine, let me tell you. Without a stop or stutter.
We're going to rent recording a little bit, you know.
Yeah, preparing it all. Keegan, tell us where everyone can find Whitman Brewing Company on the social media, and obviously your hours operational, all that other good stuff.
So everyone, please, check us out. It's Whitman Brewing Company, Facebook, Instagram. We update both daily for special events, for new menu items, weekly deals, and new beers, that we turn around and kind of come out with almost on a weekly basis. We brew pretty much, everything and everything. We got to go back to something Mike alluded to in the beginning. We were very fortunate enough that, we were voted top 10, new breweries in the country for 2020. Mm-hmm. So, even though
it was in the country. I was pegging it as New York State.
Oh no! Country.
I apologize. In the country.
I don't sell them short.
Holy shit! Wow, I should have done that a lot more justice at the beginning of the show.
In fairness to you, though, I will say one thing: there were like 3 or 4 breweries in New York alone.
Yeah, New York Torch and Crown was on there.
Wild East.
Drownlands. Yeah, Wild East was on there. Drownlands. Travis.
Warwick.
Yeah. Yep. Warwick.
Yep. So, New York, obviously, when you think about, Equilibrium, District 96, other half. New York's been killing it in the craft beer game for a while. So having that list, we're obviously honored to be on it, but to see, so many other New York, breweries on it, I think is a testament to the quality that you can find throughout the state, and that continues to evolve and grow.
I think Cuomo's very proud of you.
Yeah,
we'll
see. Does that mean I get a tax break now?
I hope so. Yes.
Can I phone in my excise tax?
I will send a handwritten letter.
No. But anyway, back to shameless plugging. Well, social media for all those updates. As it stands right now, we are Thursday through Sunday, and come get your coffee. Get an awesome breakfast sandwich, some of our, Pop-Tarts that I can't call Pop-Tarts. Everything we do, from the alcohol to the coffee to the food, is all from scratch, all in-house. You drink some beer up there, tap room opens, you come down, you drink more and different beer. Downstairs, you get some awesome pizza, some other awesome menu items. And as I said, we've been fortunate enough to be, kind of killing it on the classic New England hazy front, the pastry stouts, the crispy boys, the fruited kettle sours, but also some experimental stuff, and, come in and, try some flavors or some styles or some hybrid stuff that, you may not have tried before or may not even be able to get anywhere else. Keep an eye out, follow us, and come when you can, when people can travel again.
Fucking A. Keegan, I really appreciate you, again, sending us the beer and helping us enjoy the moments with you throughout tonight. This has been awesome, and it's definitely fucking A. It's been a hell of a time with you. And again, 90second beer review, Pints of Love. Go over to their Instagram and go to Linktree to buy tickets for Pints of Love, where a special episode of The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve will be airing February 13th or 14th. We're not sure of our time slot, but when we find out, we will let you know.
You can watch it any time, too, right?
Fair enough. On demand.
3 months.
3 months afterwards, and you can check it out. Keegan, thanks a lot, man. This has been a great time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
beer,
Hope
man.
to do it again soon and get some more beers.
Fuck yeah. I mean, I'll be drinking. If you make Flow State again or anything close to this, it's going to be a hell of a time.
Okay.
5.8 my asshole, just so you know. Steven, last words before we get out of here.
Touch yourself because nobody else will.
Fair enough. It's a tried and true. I love that one. Pete, what do you got?
Don't forget to have your pet, especially a horse, spayed or neutered.
No, you're going to want the horses to procreate. That's how you create good racing horses.
Serious money in that.
Jesus
Kill that
Christ.
that shitty racehorse.
This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve. We don't own racehorses. GovsRadio.com. And thanks a lot for everyone for joining us. We'll be in podcast form in the upcoming days. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks from Myers Brewing Company. We out! And that didn't take, so hold on.
Do what you gotta do the we out thing again.
Well, that's
In the right
true.
place.
It's your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been the Wort on Govs